For release on Sunday, November 24th, this is the 38th episode of 69 Admins. Now sometimes events in the news start like a wave. You have to be careful when you encounter them. You can be easily trapped by them and carried under the metaphorical waters if you're not careful. One of those waves is the announcement by the conglomerate known as Comcast that it is splitting off some of its media properties. With the exception of Bravo and its broadcast network NBC, it is shearing off all the cable television networks that it owns into a new company. Currently, that company is known simply as SpinCo, since they haven't come up with a name yet for the spin-off company. Now, you might think that this was a simple matter of business. After all, corporate conglomerates buy and sell properties all the time. Disney owns a construction company. Back in the 1970s, Warner Brothers had a stake in a company known as National Kinney, which owned and managed parking lots and buildings. Corporate conglomerates don't have to be focused on just one single thing. The problem with this is that there is a potential buyer for SpinCo. Yes, the infamous Elon Musk has expressed interest in buying up SpinCo so as to capture control of MSNBC. He's not really concerned with the other cable networks, but MSNBC, ostensibly a news network and competitor to Fox News Channel, would be the prize that he's after. After all, why build out an online streaming channel for Donald Trump when you can just buy a cable network that already has an existing streaming infrastructure? This presents several problems for our knowledge ecology. We're already looking at X, the site formerly known as Twitter, effectively serving as state media in the new presidential term starting at 12 noon on January 20th. 2 American universities have already told their international students that if they are abroad right now, they need to get back on American soil by no later than 11:59 a.m. on January 20th to avoid any possible problems with immigration. So, we're looking at a dark time coming soon. Picking up MSNBC and other cable television properties would simply let thousands of Leni Riefenstahl wannabes bloom. For those unfamiliar with that name, Riefenstahl was a film producer and director in Nazi Germany who was one of its major propagandists. What, did you think all of those Hitlerite rallies produced themselves? No. Hollywood-level production values went into them, and Riefenstahl was one of the people behind that. So we have to be careful on that front. And in other news, Donald Trump's pick to lead the FCC is Mr. Brendan Carr, currently a commissioner of the FCC. Mr. Carr is not a friend to broadband regulation. He also intends to go after broadcast networks and broadcast stations that annoy him, annoy Mr. Musk, and annoy the president-elect. Cord cutting could be easily at risk from regulatory changes Chairman-designate Carr could push. Be mindful that your broadband service may be okay now, but reductions in quality and capacity are rather expected in the coming Trump administration. If you have not evaluated how to put up a broadcast antenna to receive your local TV stations, if you even have those available to you, now is the time to do so. Do so as soon as you can before the weather gets bad. We're looking at some very strange times ahead. Things are afoot. Our pick of the fortnight is a limited-run television show, Discontinued, as found on Tubi. It is also available via the Roku channel app. This short-run show features the acting legend Bruce Campbell in a documentary looking at pop culture successes and failures. Did I mention that the central conceit in this show is that Campbell is broadcasting to the past from a bunker in 2037? Yes, this does appear to have been a direct-to-streaming program that came out 12 months ago that I only just found by accident now. Such is our digital world. I'll put a link to it in the show post. After watching an episode of Discontinued, you might want to check on infamous comedian and video game truck driver Tom Walker over on Twitch. Viewer discretion is totally and utterly advised when clicking on that channel, mind you. A link will appear in the show post. From the South Shores of Lake Erie, this program has been brought to you by Erie Looking Productions. 2 regular episodes remain on the calendar for 2024, which puts our last regular episode of the year on December 22nd. Our first regular episode of 2025 would likely be on January 5th. No decision has been made yet as to a New Year's Eve special being produced, so stay tuned for details. You may learn more about that on our next episode in 2 weeks, so make sure you stay tuned. Be seeing you.